You know, on behalf of Director Wynn, she wanted to get home to see Steve. She hasn't seen him, I think, in 3 or 4 weeks because of her travel schedule. You know, her and I want to thank you for coming together and collaborating. You know, when I talk about club experience, this is it right here. It's this fellowship and this family that come together and share these moments that keep us coming back to additional conferences and to our clubs. This is what we need in our clubs to happen on a weekly basis. I saw a quote Rich Delacqua from 5330 said a few years ago. He said, we need to create a club experience where people come together and create an experience designed to entertain our guests and our members. That's the club experience that we're looking for. We need to entertain and be prepared to meet those folks and meet their demands on a weekly basis, or whatever our frequency of our meeting. I also read a book recently, and I'm going to give a copy to Jeb, as we were talking about it the other day. It's written by a Rotarian out of Denver, T.J. Sullivan. And T.J. wrote a book about motivating the middle. Trying to get your middle of that group. So we all have clubs where 10 or 15% are super engaged, another 20 or 30% are in that middle, and then we got the bottom part, maybe where they're not so engaged, because of whatever reason that might be. And we have to have a place for all of those folks. So TJ says, if we can motivate that middle to get them to step up their game, we'll grow as an organization and we'll thrive. I think that makes a lot of sense, whether we're talking about districts, we're talking about foundations, or we're talking about our own club, or our workplace, right? I mean, if we can motivate that middle staff to step up their game, much like the captain talked about yesterday, we're going to be a better organization. The other thing he talks about is making sure we appreciate that bottom third. And what he does really well in that book is he says, we're all in that bottom third somewhere. Yeah. Think about that for a moment. So we sometimes judge people, don't we, when they're, Elizabeth hasn't been to a meeting in 3 weeks. Or whatever that case may be. But most folks got stuff going on as well. My classmate Ricardo Loretta was here yesterday for a couple hours. His wife had surgery last week. He had to get back home. He was in the bottom third for this conference, but he stepped up and showed up because it was important to him. So make sure you reach out to that bottom third and let them know you care about them and that there's a place for them as soon as they can get re-engaged. Remember, in our Rotary journeys, we're all in that bottom third somewhere, whether it's the chamber, whether it's the church. I don't think Jordan made church this morning in Scotland. He's in the bottom third right there, right? And when Elizabeth and I stepped up, we're no longer too involved with our Chamber of Commerce. We're in that bottom third. But we still support them, and we're still there, and we will write a check if they ask us to do so. The other part he does very well in that book is he talks about gratitude. I think Jeff and Laura did a fantastic job with that. But he says a quote in there, he says, we need to thank people until our lips hurt. And I think that makes a lot of sense to me. Thank them for coming in. Thank the governors for inviting us and allowing us to be here. Thank our aide, Carol, and I know Wynn thanked Mike and Sylvia as well. But thank people. Let them know that you appreciate them just for showing up at the meeting. Because you know what? There's a lot of people in our clubs that are not showing up for those meetings. I was at a meeting a couple weeks ago, 15 members, 100% Paul Harris Fellow Club. Super engaged, super projects in the community. 8 people showed up for that meeting out of 58. I went back a few weeks later because I thought maybe that was an anomaly. 12 people were there. We got to thank folks and let them know they're appreciated. We got to just elevate them. So on behalf of Wynn and I, thank you so much for inviting us. Fantastic conference. We love the collaboration. Luis, back to you.